Hey there, guys. All right, today we are watching the 6 Hour War 1940 German invasion of Denmark, short animated documentary by History Matters. I believe this is quite possibly the shortest History Matters video. At the very least, it is the shortest one that we will have watched thus far, as it's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So, there's that. Um, so without much further ado, let's dive in.
1940 and Denmark is getting a little bit nervous about its southern neighbour,
No
the Third
way.
Reich. There was good reason for this, since Germany had just
Oh, it just sounds like some paranoia.
conquered Poland and was at war with Britain and France. Germany was importing resources and materials from Sweden, and so both sides had an interest in controlling the neutral nations of Denmark and Norway. This would allow the side which controlled them to determine how much of the region's resources Germany would get. Germany thus decided to strike first with Operation Weserübung, a plan to conquer both Denmark and Norway in one fell swoop. Denmark had, for the most part, seen German aggression coming. Since 1937, it had been building up its military capability to deter aggression.
With how many people? Don't you have just a population of like a million? I don't know how many people Denmark has.
In 1940, the Danish army stood at about 14,000
That's totally gonna be enough.
soldiers strong, but after the outbreak of the Second World War, they were ordered away from the border.
Why would you do that?
This was to prevent Germany from using the excuse of a border skirmish as a
I guess.
justification for war, such as they had done with Poland. This, of course, didn't stop the Germans, since Hitler
Yeah, it's the Nazis. You should have. They probably saw this coming. I can't blame Denmark for that decision, but also at the same time, it's like it's Germany, it's the Nazis. They're gonna do it.
wanted Denmark. At 3:15 in the morning on April the 9th, the Germans landed Marines at Gedser to cut telephone lines. About an hour later, German troops sailed into Copenhagen and met no resistance, and about an hour after
Hold on, repeat that.
lines. About an hour later, German troops sailed into Copenhagen and met no resistance, and
Oh my god. They just fucking sailed into the capital?
about an hour after that, the main German assault into Denmark began. Since the Danish troops weren't at the border, they weren't able to get optimal defensive positions against the Germans, but that didn't stop them from fighting back. The German troops that had landed in Copenhagen simply walked up to the army headquarters and secured it without any resistance.
Denmark.
Having received such a peaceful reception, they moved on to the Danish king Christian X and his palace. Here, the king's lifeguard gave the Germans a slightly shootier welcome. Hitler ordered bombers to fly over Copenhagen but not to bomb it, to remind the Danes that Germany could flatten the capital if it so wanted to. On Jutland, the defenders resisted bravely, but to be blunt about it, they weren't going to be able to resist the Wehrmacht for any significant length of time.
Nope.
Not that the soldiers had much of a chance to try anyway. The reason was that King Christian had surrendered Denmark to the Germans at 8:34, though the orders didn't reach some of the troops fighting in Jutland for another 15 minutes. And that was it. Denmark had fallen to the German Reich in a little under 6 hours, one of the quickest conquests in human history. So the Danish surrender was done so in return for their maintaining control over their domestic policies, which Hitler allowed. The surrender, which occurred with Germany and Denmark suffering very few casualties, meant that the Germans weren't as harsh on the Danish as they maybe would have been. In fact, the German government used the speed of the war to argue that Denmark wasn't being occupied but simply being protected from Britain. Denmark would remain occupied until 1945, but the story of that occupation is one for another video. I hope you enjoyed this.
And that was the 6 Hour War, 1940 and German invasion of Denmark. Short animated documentary by History Matters. This is one of their earlier videos. Oh man, how early? This has to be among I'm gonna say this is probably one of their first few months. Would be my guess. I don't know. It's because of this end screen here. Not seen it before, I don't think. But yeah, this was good, especially for how old the video is, and if I'm suspecting correctly, one of their very old videos. I think it has held up really well. Humor is there. The pacing was real well. I don't think there was any other information really needed here. So, 2 thumbs up. Yeah, I enjoyed. I hope you guys did as well. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.